Hello and welcome. Here's how to find every survivor in Into the Dead: Our Darkest Days. No fluff, let's get straight into it. First up, we've got Aubrey. You can find her up the ladder on the roof at the back of the Walton Taxi Depot. Her best perk is being able to craft more items at the medical area for the same cost. Always useful, especially late game when you're more likely to be in those trickier spots and take some damage. The real benefit though is that if you recruit her, she'll unlock US Route 93, which has some really great loot. Check the video in the description for full details on all secret locations. Next, we have Barb. Climb up to the roof at Red Mile gas station in Southborough to find her. She has two perks that make ranged and melee weapons cheaper to craft, which really adds up over time, so definitely a great survivor to have on your team. Next, we've got Cooper. Located at Millwood Manor in the far northeast in Kingside. You'll need to progress in the airlift escape plan in order to unlock this location. Bring some bolt cutters if you want to safely rescue Cooper, or you can go the action route and risk grabbing the keys from the guy's infected wife's bedroom. Definitely don't recommend that one. Despite all the hassle, Cooper doesn't really have any real benefits, so I wouldn't bother taking him unless you're going for this escape plan or you're looking to do a run to rescue all survivors at once. And next we have Frank. Outside the back of fire station number 8 in Buckland Yards, head up the tower and you'll find Frank sat there chilling. He's the only survivor you can rescue that has great cooking skills which double the food output, making him, for me, a mandatory pickup if you didn't choose Daphne in the starting duo. He does have reduced backpack space though, so I wouldn't use him so much for scavenging unless you're cleaning up an area you've already cleared, but absolutely worth rescuing. Next, we have Hudson, a nice easy one to rescue at the Briarwood Motel. He has a chance to not take any damage in combat, which can be useful, but in general, I don't really find him that useful. He also has less effective barricade repair and loses morale eating non-cooked food, so not really an S-tier survivor, but if you want to rescue everyone, now you know where to find him. And next we have Isabel, one of the last survivors that I found on my run actually, and definitely not the easiest to rescue either from the roof of the Jensen's Elementary School in Ashby. But with 2 extra backpack spaces, Isabel is a must-have in my opinion. Her morale is restored slower, but you can always use beer or communal areas, so I don't really see that as a big drawback. As I said, not the easiest location to rescue from, but if you're willing to risk it, she's absolutely worth it. And next we have Joe. For me, Joe is the best survivor in the game currently. Located at the Texway gas station in Harshaw, he's really easy to rescue, and with 2 extra backpack spaces and extra resources while dismantling, he's a perfect hybrid survivor. I think I've picked up Joe on every single playthrough so far, so let me know what you think and go rescue Joe. Next we have Kirk, another of the more difficult survivors to rescue. Kirk can be found in the comms room at the top of the 9th Precinct station. He's good for combat with his tough perk reducing damage taken, but he doesn't really have any other real upsides. But if you need another strong survivor for those risky locations, he's definitely a decent pick. He's a pretty fun one to rescue as well, so I definitely recommend going for it. And next we have Lester. Located at the very back of Lester Bar Automotive in Greenhaven, you'll find the owner himself. He's a decent survivor for filling the gaps. His reduced backpack space and no beneficial combat traits make him less ideal for scavenging, but you can let him do all the menial tasks you need done in your base, and he can fill those gaps nicely. And next we have Michelle. Holed up at 15 Independence Boulevard, also in Greenhaven, you'll find a surprisingly welcoming Michelle. One of her good traits is that she can make more lockpicks per craft, but since they're pretty cheap and often laying around anyway, I don't think that's a massive bonus, to be honest. I rescued her mostly because I feel sorry for her story. Hopefully we'll find a Eugene one day. And next we have Miguel. Locked up in the back of Pogo on 9th in Ashby, you'll find Miguel. Another survivor with a good perk for crafting medical supplies. His Will to Survive perk can be useful, but unfortunately the Restless perk means spending a phase without leaving the shelter results in morale loss, which does kind of suck, to be honest. I'd stick with Aubrey if you need the medical perks. And next we have Rahul. Rahul is the first survivor I found actually during the Our Darkest Days demo. Head over to the Harshaw Presbyterian Church, Climb up to the bell tower and down the ladder and you'll find Rahul. Definitely not a good scavenger, but his alcohol perk is useful if you're going for the network escape plan, although there's only one location that has a distillery at the moment, so that benefit is quite limited. Climb out the window and drop down on the roof for some extra loot as well while you're there. And last, and unfortunately possibly least, we have Robbie. Located upstairs in a bit of an awkward spot in the Styx arcade, Robbie is unfortunately kind of useless at the moment. Morale isn't really hard to manage and only able to cook slop, so for me doesn't really have any positive traits. Similar to Lester, I just use him to fill the gaps at the shelter and do those simple tasks you need to get done. Well, that's it. Now you know where all the survivors are. Let me know if this was useful, which survivor is your favorite to play, and I'll see you in the next one.